Low key, kind of brave of Charlie, a rather apolitical content creator, to come out and straight up swing for workers' rights, especially when it's like the type of worker that the average American looks at and goes, they're all rich, dog. Classic XQ take, but he said what writers, actors
you
want
everybody to make a fair amount.
Oh, I forgot. Well, I don't really care about the XQ take that much, but I forgot Charlie had the Norman's appeal, the Norman's take on
from top to bottom. So if somebody came out of left field and invested his own money into making a company, and he makes it from ground up, he should be paid the same amount that some guy shows up and mops the ground.
Why are they using this fucking emote? Y'all are dumb.
That is socialism. You understand how that works or not?
Yeah, that's how it works. Thank you, Felix. Bro, there's no way I can explain this to this man. I've done it so many fucking times.
I've said for a
in through one ear, out the
long
other.
time, Hollywood is an evil place. Not exactly a brave take. No one's going to be gasping or have their jaw on the floor. But you might be questioning, Charles, how can you even say that? You yourself are a Hollywood superstar thanks to your game-changing performance as District 8 hospital helper in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1.
That's true, he did do that.
A bit hypocritical to say Hollywood's evil when you yourself were a large part of the reason Hollywood is successful thanks to reinvigorating public interest in cinema? Due to your exceptional acting as the District 8 hospital helper and single-handedly carrying the Hunger Games franchise on your extremely strong back, a back that's built like a Greek god and Adonis. If I was to lat spread right now, I'd look like a bat. The same franchise that's responsible for springboarding Jennifer Lawrence's career, but only because they cut out most of my scenes as the District 8 hospital helper because they overshadowed hers. And of course, you're not wrong, my sweet sunflower, but it's because of this level of expertise with a performance like mine, District 8 hospital helper, which is still widely studied across all theatrical colleges across the nation, that I am able to say with a high level of confidence that I know just how corrupt and evil Hollywood is from the inside. It is rotten to its very core. And it's extremely nice to see that most people are really waking up to how fucked up.
Damn, mods are so fast with it. I couldn't even click the XQC chat message.
Hollywood is as an industry. Now, I covered the writer's strike when it started about 3 months ago now, almost 3 months ago. And I want to just give a follow-up to where things are at because it's not improved, and in fact it is only escalating. And now it's more than just the WGA that's gone on strike. Now SAG-AFTRA has joined the party as well and are striking too, and a lot of the actors are standing with the writers here. So it's really bubbling into this giant, witch's cauldron stew here. It's like when all of the characters of an action movie come together at the end to fight the big bad guys. Just this big team-up moment. So all the writers are coming together with a lot of actors standing beside.
Yeah, the mogul male silence is loud, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Where's the fucking mogul male? Mogul male silent on the Nick Merckx criticism during LGBT Pride Month. Mogul male silent on fucking workers' rights. What's happening, dude? My man is just straight right-wing, okay? Let's keep it a buck.
Them in order to finally get what they deserve from the industry. For those that don't know why they're striking, it's actually pretty simple. I'm just going to boil it down to like the
MAGA male, dude.
Here. Their pay is not what it should be for the work they do for these productions. Writers are invaluable to the industry.
Low key, kind of brave of Charlie, a rather apolitical content creator who has cultivated an apolitical following, to come out and straight up swing for workers' rights, especially when it's like the type of worker that the average American looks at and goes, they're all fucking rich, dog. Fuck you. They're all rich pedophiles, you fucking idiot. Like, why are you defending their rights? They're all making $700 million and also spending all of their ill-gotten gains on baby spinal fluid.
Period. I know there's a lot of brain rot on Twitter that's arguing the opposite, and they keep using the example of, if writers are so important, why is there such thing as bad writing? Checkmate. They don't deserve to get paid more for writing like this, and then they'll drop an example of shit writing from something like Forspoken, which isn't even like a Hollywood production, but some of the writers that are in these unions are also working on video games, so I guess that's the point they're making. Actual little Neanderthal brain takes of this writing is bad, so that all writers are useless. In fact, let me write it. It'll be 10 times better. And their only experience writing is fucking summer book reports in middle school. It's just a stupid take. Of course, there's going to be better writing than others, right? But it doesn't mean that all writers are useless or something. It's just natural. It's the same thing with like athletes. There's going to be some athletes that are better than other athletes. It's just one of those things. So yeah, there's going to be bad writing. Doesn't mean they don't deserve to get fucking paid for their work. It's just stupid. It's beyond dumb. Writers are...
Once again, everyone would be better equipped. Charlie's doing a pretty good job of covering this. But once again, just a little bit more of Marxist lit being taught in schools would immediately allow people to communicate why this is just in a perfect way, which is they are working and generating value. They are asking for some of that value back. That's it. It's that simple. Same with athletes and same with the writers. But, I mean, this is great. This is super great so far.
Are one of the most important positions to any production, full stop, 100%. And their pay has not reflected this. They're not being fairly compensated for their work, and they haven't been for a long time. They don't have a lot of options in terms of like royalties either. It's just very unfair to writers. And obviously the entire industry has been changing with streaming becoming more and more prevalent, and they're just falling behind on keeping writers adequately compensated. In fact, their pay has fallen, and they're not...
Yeah, I mean, they're not falling behind. It's deliberate. New distribution mechanisms means new opportunities where the capital owners, the studio bosses, the employers will shut out the workers from the same exact revenue streams and the same exact revenue structures that they had in prior iterations like DVD releases and, regular live television.
Not getting any like real reasonable profit shares or splitting or anything.
And that's actually the whole point of why unions are so important. It's a perfect demonstration of the necessity for unions, which is that without collective action, without collective bargaining, without unions saying, no, you can't do that, there is never magnanimous bosses that will turn around and go, oh, you know what? We do have a new revenue structure here. Let's just give that to you, as a matter of fact. We should offer you points off of that. We should offer you better residuals off of streamers. You know what I mean? They will never do that. That's not how this works. And it's not how it should work either, for the record. I want everyone to understand, like, there is a reason why I believe the things I believe. I'm not even asking the CEOs to fucking do the right thing. I think that's lib shit. There is no doing the right thing. They are doing the right thing. They don't think that the system is broken. And many of you, not in this chat, but many Americans don't think that this structure is indecent or exploitative, right? They don't. They love capitalism. They think there's no better alternative, and all their alternatives have led to death and demise and mass poverty. So for the record, technically what the CEOs are doing isn't wrong under the current way that things are operating. People love to say, oh, these guys are evil, they're villains. Not really. They're winners. They are working within the confines, within the boundaries of this structure that was designed. It's not the CEO that's a villain. It's the system. You're moralizing capitalism. You're recognizing that people operating under the boundary set, people operating in their class interest in a society that was designed to churn out these outcomes are bad people. But it's not that they're bad people. It's that the system is bad. And a lot of people don't see that. They forget that, and they love moralizing. And then they say, oh, it's actually bad. It's every rich person that's just like a bad guy. They did bad things to become rich across the board. And like, we gotta we hate the rich. We hate anyone that's like rich. Fuck this. That's why we're mad, right? And it's like, no, that's a manifestation of the anger that you feel towards the system. And you have nobody basically telling you like, no. This is how it's designed to work, and it's bad because of the outcomes that you're experiencing. So then it just basically becomes like, oh, I'm just flinging for anything and everything that I can touch because it's easier. That's why the late great Michael Brooks used to always say, be kind to people, be ruthless to systems. Exactly. Now, having said that, say you, Mr. Make the Rich Pay. Exactly. Having said that, okay, are a lot of these fucking guys evil? Yeah, absolutely. I think that they are evil even within capitalist boundaries, technically. They're evil in their own personal lives and the way that they operate. They also lie, cheat, and steal on top of everything else. And the reason why it gets to this point, even when the overwhelming majority of society think that like capitalism is fine and dandy, okay, I'm contradicting myself. Yes, just hold on. Let me fucking cook. Okay. The reason why, even though the overwhelming majority of people are like, well, capitalism is great, I love capitalism, they still get mad at these guys because they take it above and beyond. That's why people try to make a distinction. Those who love capitalism and yet actually hate the consequences of it on their own personal lives will try to make this distinction. They'll say, oh, it's not capitalism, it's corporatism. It's corporate consolidation under capitalism that's wrong and bad. And it's like, well, technically, if you learn a little bit about it, you'll recognize that it's not crony capitalism, it's not corporatism. These are all additional flavors that they've added on to just inevitably defend capitalism. Like there's a perfect capitalism out there that actually works. No, this is capitalism through and through. It's the system. This is why it was designed. This is how it was designed. These are the outcomes that they are supposed to generate. You don't like it, because it is always going to inevitably erode whatever kind of safeguard measure there was in that was put in place by labor unions and by union organizing, by labor action, whether it be direct action, whether it be violence in certain circumstances. The entire system, the entire structure is designed all the way from every single institution to the government under a capitalist nation state is designed to yield these outcomes. Okay? And no matter what happens, unless there is a dictatorship of the proletariat rather than a dictatorship of the bourgeois class, you will always, no matter whichever social democratic principle you believe in, no matter how safe you perceive yourself to be, like those in Europe that always look at America and go, oh, mate, you don't have fucking healthcare. That's fucking mental, right? The system is designed in this way so that inevitably, before you realize it, it's fucking 13 years of the NHS getting crippled deliberately by those capitalists with the ultimate intention of ripping it apart and selling the scraps to private enterprise. That's it. That's why I always say, Europe, you're following America's footsteps by 10 years. You're just 10 years behind. You know? Same in Canada. Same in any other social democratic formation.
Thing like that. They're just not being paid fairly. That's the bottom line there with the first component of this strike. So they've been trying to have conversations with the top brass in the industry in order to rectify this, reach some kind of amicable conclusion so they can get fairly compensated for the work that they love doing and want to keep doing. But that hasn't really happened, so they were left with no other options except going on strike. And another big component of this is AI. As AI continues to evolve rapidly, a lot of the soulless money zombies at the top of the Hollywood food chain have taken notice and have recognized that if they start to integrate AI into their productions, they can save a lot of money by not having to pay writers' salaries or pay writers. They could just start using AI in order to get their desired result. It's cheaper, they have more control over it, and clearly the WGA as well as SAG-AFTRA, like pretty much all writers, have a bit of an issue with that. So that was another one of their points, is they would really like if they didn't just fucking blast AI into the industry to try and like phase them out. Like they don't want the AI trained on their works. They don't want any of their works to be used to try and develop some kind of AI model off of it. So those are really the big things. And this has been going on for about 3 months now, and the response from the big boys has not been positive. So according to reports, they are determined to break the WGA, and now by extension SAG.
See, this is the tipping point. No matter how much of a capitalism defender you might be, whether advertently, inadvertently, whether you recognize it or not, when you see a big bad CEO behave in the most demon-like way possible, it's hard to look at that and go, "Oh fuck, man, I'm still siding with the CEOs." You got to be an extra bad dick rider for that.
SAG-AFTRA, since they're also striking at the moment. So their in-game, according to the executives and the insiders here, is to allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and losing their houses. They call it a cruel but necessary evil. This is par for the course for Hollywood. This really tracks. Anything evil that can be done, Hollywood does. So
not just Hollywood, every other industry. Evil is what you personally consider it. That's the difference. There is a level, however, there is a level of allowed evil that we perceive as acceptable from an early age. Do you see what I'm saying, chat? That's just capitalism. Most people just look at that and go, holy fuck, that's evil, when you describe it in simple terms. If you describe the labor theory of value, and then on top of that, describe the extraction of the surplus labor value, most people would look at that and go, wait a minute, that's kind of fucked up. Right? That's what they would say. Look at that and go, I don't really like that. That seems kind of messed up. Right? However, when you basically overlook that, when you never discuss it on such terms and exclusively talk about it like it's the cost of doing business, there is a level of such behavior that is totally considered as valid by the overwhelming majority of the population. What socialists call exploitation, capitalists and those who defend capitalism call profits. They all consider profits to be totally justifiable. Get it? When you go above and beyond and just like keep squeezing as many profits as you possibly can from an already fucked over population, that's when people start noticing, and that's when they go, whoa, 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 what the hell's going on? And I do think that in the United States of America, due to corporate consolidation, due to a century of Red Scare propaganda that has perfectly vilified all matter of socialist thought, CEOs and business owners and landlords and the like have gotten far too comfortable. They've gotten so comfortable that they can just say the quiet part out loud and assume that there will be no backlash. And to a certain degree, they're correct. Because what are you going to do? The structure, once again, is designed to protect them. The structure is completely normalized by the overwhelming majority of the population, and it churns these outcomes on a daily basis, and everyone assumes it is the norm. So when they go a little overboard, people go, wait, we got to correct this behavior. This is kind of fucked up. But everybody turns around and still, once it is corrected, everybody turns around and still goes, all right, you know what? But this system is still the best. Right? This system is still the best. It's still the greatest. And the media defends it, and the media is there specifically to defend it and normalize the pain that you feel and terrify you of any other alternative. Okay? But the real reason why the CEOs do this is not purely out of greed, mostly because they can, one. Two, the system is designed for them to be able to do that. And last but not least, profit does have a tendency, the profit rate has a tendency to decline. So they just look to new avenues to consistently farm higher and higher returns. And the only way to do that at a certain point is going to be not by raising the prices, because this is a consumer-facing economy. We care about the price that consumers pay, but by making the labor side suffer more and more. That's why the writer salaries have gone down. That's why the actor salaries have gone down across the board. Let's continue.
So they're playing hardball here. They're not giving in to any demands. They're not budging an inch. They're saying, hey, might be a cold Christmas, and you might not be able to afford to have a place to live anymore because fuck your demands. So they're saying, like, the strategy is simple. Bleed them out. You know, when they're financially strapped for cash and desperate, starving on the streets, then they'll come crawling back to us, groveling at our feet, and then we'll dictate some new terms that they won't be able to decline. But we're not giving in to any of what they want. Now, in a sane world, I would really think most people would be behind the writers because, I mean, it makes sense. They're not getting paid nearly as much as they should for the work they do for these massive 9-figure productions that are raking in hundreds of millions of dollars, and the writers are the ones that, like, make the story happen, the most important part. Like, you can't just have a movie of fucking nothing. You can't go in there and just have, like, a bunch of noise, right? It's not TikTok. It's not you're going to the theater for jingling keys for 10 hours. You need a story still. The writers are integral. Thus, they should be compensated fairly for it. But we don't live in a sane world. We live in a clown world. So there is a ton of people on Twitter that are saying that the writers are unreasonable and that the executives are in the right here. The executives are the heroes in the story and the writers are the bad guys, which blew my fucking mind. The fucking goofball goober CEO of Disney, Bob, said that the writer is very disturbing to him, having a wambulance moment, some fucking French cries, going over like, oh, I can't believe they're striking. It's so unrealistic. You're ruining the industry, guys. Why do you want more money? How could you be so greedy? Coming from a guy who's making $20 million a year annually, the writers are extremely important. And coming from someone like this with a salary like that, I don't know who on Twitter who could read these stories and then start pumping their fists saying, yes, those are the good guys. Those are the heroes of the story, the champions of justice. The fucking soulless husks with unimaginable wealth that are exploiting their workers, fucking their butt with a smile on their face. It makes no sense to me because, again, most people on Twitter are either children or normal working class people, not multimillionaire celebrities. So how can you, as like a normal working class...
I love this video because Charlie is discovering a lack of class consciousness in the United States of America. In the words attributed to Mark... I think it was it Mark Twain? No. What the fuck? George, no. Oh my God, my brain is malfunctioning. Hold on.
One eternity later.
Okay, 5 is good. No, not George Carlin. Steinbeck. In the words that are attributed falsely oftentimes to Steinbeck, socialism will never come to the United States of America because the proletariat or the working class do not see themselves as an exploited proletariat, but temporarily embarrassed millionaires and billionaires. That's it. That is at the heart of Americans without class consciousness. They look to billionaires, they look to millionaires, not as people who are sitting atop society, behaving like demigods that have taken everything from the working class, but instead they look to them as beacons of success, titans of industry, people that they one day will be exactly like. It's peasant brain, as I like to call it. Anyway, let's continue.
Person, be excited and celebrate that other working class people like yourself are being exploited. It actually just doesn't compute up here in my noodle how you reached that part of decay in your mind. Like, why wouldn't you want the workers to get paid more? Why would you want the wealthy executives to continue to nickel and dime all of their employees in order for them to make more tens of millions per year on their annual salary? Like, I don't get how like a normal person sides with them. Like, they're not going to give you money just because you're fighting PR battles for them on Twitter. Dumbass Disney CEO Bob's not going to find your Twitter account and start clapping for you. He's not going to just swoop in there and be like, you know what, Jacob? I am so glad you made this tweet.
Are you one of those people? Yes. I am David Zaslaw. a person who has hired and a person who works in the industry as a boss. I made $498,915,318 in the last 5 years. I made that money in 1 year, 365 days. Right, you caught me. You did. I am not a mere Twitch streamer with a contract, albeit a shitty one, from Amazon that takes a percentage of every dollar that I generate for them. I am Ari Emanuel, sitting atop the franchise William Morris Endeavor. You just fucking didn't realize your agent's boss was that goddamn rich? Of course he is. Of course he is. I am Bob Iger. I am Ted Sarandos. Joke's on you that chatter's too stupid to understand sarcasm? Yeah. Even real fucking peasants didn't genuflect this hard towards their overlords. Most medieval serfs resented their lords mightily. Revolts were a constant threat in the old days. Yeah. Not anymore. Because due to technological advancements, due to exponential growth, due to living in the imperial core, the labor aristocracy has certain amenities that keep them sedated. This is the greatest trick of neoliberalism. It makes you feel like you've won. Makes you feel like, and in many respects you are, at the top of the fucking food chain. Makes you feel like there's nothing to complain about. Why are you complaining? You can watch sports. You can watch whatever the fuck you want to watch on TV. Why are you fucking complaining? Anyway.
You're right. It is unreasonable and downright criminal that our writers want more money. It does. Where did we all go wrong as a society? Wanting some kind of profit sharing or some other compensation? It is ridiculous, Jacob, and you are right. Here's $5 million. Give me your PayPal. It's not going to happen. Like, I don't know why you're blaming writers either. There's a lot of people getting mad at writers because now their favorite shows are being affected, so they're going on a hiatus and a break because there's no one writing it. And now they're getting mad at the writers, like, just go back to doing your fucking jobs. When what they're trying to do is what every worker tries to do. Get paid fairly for the work they do. Like, I just don't understand.
Yes. The class antagonism, or rather the class interest that you have as a worker, if you are a waged employee, salaried in the form of a W-2 or contracted in the form of a 1099, no matter what, if you work for a boss and not yourself perfectly, completely, you want very specific things. You want to work the least amount of hour for the most amount of pay. Your boss, on the other hand, your boss's boss, rather, your capital owners, and the people that work for them, like your boss, they want you to basically work for the most amount of hours for the least amount of pay. As much as they can get away with. This is the contradiction. This is the inherent class antagonism. This is why bosses and workers are always pinned against each other. This is how it works. This is how capitalism works.
And who could be against that? I really don't. Honestly, I don't. So I just wanted to give you an update here because the writing strike is only continuing to grow here, and it's going to continue to grow until either they come to the table and start to negotiate, or all of the shows get drastically affected by the situation here. It's already affected a ton of productions, and it's only going to continue if they can't reach some kind of deal here or some kind of peaceful resolution or something. So just wanted to keep you updated on that because this is a story I actively follow, and yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.
I'm walking at a 5-kilometer pace. So that's why I'm a bit winded.